watch too many movies. And every embarrassing situation I get in is because I'm imagining myself I'm in the movie. I'll give you 3 examples. One, my wife said to me, I want you to go out on the roof and get those branches out of the gutter. And I said, I don't want to go on the roof. When I was a teenager, I worked as a roofer for a summer. I didn't do a good job. And I went off the roof. So I don't want to go back on the roof. We don't have a ladder. I had to go out the 2nd floor window. I get on the thing, it's slanted. I'm flat on the roof, inching across. But in my mind, I'm Tom Cruise in some Mission Impossible movie on the 30th floor with a dent. I'm doing that. My neighbor looks across the street and sees this white-haired guy on a roof. He's Jay, he's a man's man. He runs across the street, runs up my garage, comes up to the 2nd floor window, and he's standing next to me as I'm laying flat on the roof. It's very masculine. He's standing there and goes, Pat, what's going on? And I go, I flip over my back. I go, I'm just getting a few rays. Time's good here. I appreciate your good Samaritan criminal trespass, but I'm good to go. And he goes, seriously? I go, yeah, but if you want to put a little lotion on me, you got that rhythm. No, I'm good. The second example is my wife got me a mower, a rider mower in our neighborhood, suburban neighborhood. A lot of peer pressure. They all have the lawns. And they all ride their mowers. They all have the headphones on to listen to podcasts. But when I'm on my mower, I'm Steve McQueen. I'm in The Great Escape. I'm being chased by Nazis. I'm on my motorcycle. And I'm zooming all over the lawn, not paying attention. And I'm riding around, and I see this, there's a little bit of a tree stump sticking out, but there's an incline, and I know I can jump that. I can jump that. I didn't. I Evel Knievel'd it. I hit it. I broke the lawnmower. My wife was like, for the 100th time, you're not Steve McQueen, which I think is a really hurtful thing to say. They had to come get the lawnmower, and once they do that, we don't have anything. They had to come pick it up and take it away. So they take the lawnmower away, and I've never paid for anybody to do any work at my house in my life. I'm the cheapest guy in the world. So I waited 3.5 weeks. Our lawn became 2 feet high. Our lawn became the lawn that everybody took their dogs to poop on. I would see them out the windows. They'd have the green bag, they'd have the bag, but they never really picked it up. They went down and they pretended to pick it up. We got this, I'm embarrassed by this, and a new neighbor moves in on the side of us. He shares a lawn with me, and I didn't talk to him because my wife does that, and she was away. She was in Prague for the week. Terry would say, well, who's she with? I don't know Terry. Some guy, he seemed nice, very fit. She was away. So I didn't talk to the guy. And he comes out, and he's embarrassed because he's living next to Boo Radley, so he starts to mow his lawn. He's got a power mower. So I go in the garage, I'm looking for what equipment I can use. And we have a machete-free household. I'll explain why in a second. And we go in, and I'm looking around, what can I use? I don't have a samurai sword. I grab a weed whacker, and I go out, and I start trying to weed whack my entire front lawn. And I'm weed whacking the lawn, and the neighbor's looking at me. What the heck? And I'm weed whacking the lawn, and I get a poor gut. And I went to the doctor afterwards. This is why I have this rib cast. He said, my hand looks like oatmeal. What happened? I worked the next day, and the lawn looked like my hair. It was met holes and ups, bumps, and down. It looked horrible. I get a phone call at work going, oh, we dropped the lawnmower off in your driveway. I race home, do the lawn at lunchtime, go back to work, come back at the end of the day. I go, damn it, I missed a spot in the middle. I put the lawnmower back in the little shed. I go in, get my trusty weed whacker, use my left hand. I'm in the middle of the lawn just doing the weed whacking at one spot. The new neighbor drives by. He does this double shot because I now have this pristine lawn and I've got a weed whacker. And I know he said to his wife, that nut job next door, he's like a weed whacking savant. He's Edward Scissorhands, man. And the final part, why no machetes? Back in the day, I was a district attorney at one place. Distinguished job, but wait here. I had a case where a guy attacked his girlfriend with a machete. And yeah, he's chasing her around, he swings it at her, hits her 2 fingers, doesn't cut him off, but injured her severely. His defense at trial was she hurt herself. She was trying to commit suicide with a machete, and I wrestled it out of her hand, and I got injured. So in my closing, I have a prop, and I'm very excited. in my mind, a Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or Uma Thurman. I'm waving this machete around, showing how absurd it was that you would try to commit suicide with it. So on your hand, your head. The problem with the machete, for those not initiated to that, is it gathers steam when you're waving around. The jury, during my whole closing, was ducking back and forth. I thought they were transfixed by what I was saying. They were terrified. So I'm waving around. It gathered steam. It hit me on the side of the head and my ear. Yeah. I take a step back. I say to the jury, I'm going to put the machete down there. They all nod their head. I start speeding up my closing. I feel a little stuff coming down my face. I look at my shirt, which is getting progressively redder. So I finish my closing. And he's guilty. I sit down. The judge normally goes into closing instructions at that point. Say, this is the law. This judge was smart. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need a little break. He takes a break. The jury leaves the room, leaves the courtroom. The door closes behind him. And the minute they're out of our sight, we hear this tremendous roar of laughter, which is never a good sign for a prosecutor. But they did convict, maybe pity for me or for the victim. They did convict, but I came back to my office and I discovered three things. One, there was a memo. Proper use of machetes in the courtroom. Sent word office-wide, which basically was, don't. Two, there was a sign in my office that said, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me an ear. And three, they had changed my nameplate to Vincent Van Carmody. Thanks, guys.